In this video, I would like to discuss the issue of debunking, the whole notion of debunking, the very word debunk, what it means to say that such and such has been debunked, and what lies at the root of a so-called debunking. It seems that there's this sort of industry afoot in which the entire point is to debunk things, to take a certain position or point of view or allegation or reflection on a certain scandal or other kind of glaringly appalling matter, and not to examine it, but not to examine it, not to consider it, not to look at it and consider the merits of the allegations, in a critical but not dismissive way, but rather to debunk. Now, what I think lies at the heart of debunking, what I think debunking is, what I think it means, what I think it's all about, is not, first and foremost, I think it's important to make note that someone who sets out to debunk something is not really interested in the issue of truth. What he's interested in is taking a hatchet to a particular story or a particular allegation or a particular notion or a particular idea. Just taking a hatchet to it, finding ammunition against it, and using that ammunition to try to make those who hold to this story or account or notion appear to be ridiculous or stupid or silly or otherwise just dismissible. So from the very beginning, if you are a debunker, if you are someone who has set out to debunk something, what you're saying is, I don't care what the truth is. What you're saying is, I want the side that I am on, the side that I favor, the political or propagandistic side that is more in line or in tune with my sensibilities. I want that side to win. And I see X out there as standing in the way of my side getting the upper hand. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to debunk X. So right away, it's not motivated by an interest in getting to the truth of something. Right away, there's a problem. There's an issue with it, and yet people, just embrace this title of debunking or debunker. They feel that it's a badge of honor to be a debunker, to debunk something or other. But I say it is a badge of dishonor, because you have shown from the start your hand. You've shown that you've shown your lack of honor, your lack of integrity, that you have no interest in truth, that you simply want issue X to be ridiculed, mocked, derided for political partisan reasons. Okay, and I'm saying all of this. I'm keeping all of this general because it can apply to people on any side for any reason. I know that people will watch this and just think, or just try to say, "Oh, you're just this kind of person who's for this kind of thing, and that's why you're against debunking." No, I'm talking generally speaking. Generally speaking, whatever you call yourself, whether you call yourself liberal or conservative or whatever, generally speaking, if you are somebody who values truth over partisanship, you should not embrace the title of debunker. You should not see it as a badge of honor to be a debunker. All right. You should eschew the notion of being a debunker. You should have an interest in finding out the truth of things. If something comes along that threatens your perspective or makes it seem like the people on the side that you favor don't have integrity, then you ought to examine the matter and look at the issues, look at what's actually being alleged, what the evidence is for what's being alleged, and then come to a conclusion based on an objective assessment. Okay? Objectivity is a thing. It is real. It's hard to be objective, but it's not impossible. And regardless of whether or not you can you find it in your heart or in your mind or in your soul to want to be objective when everything is so relentlessly partisan, that doesn't change the fact that objectivity does exist, that truth does exist. Okay? So somebody who's interested in truth would never call himself a debunker. Somebody who's interested in truth would embrace the role of critical examiner, which is not the same thing as a debunker. When looking at something with a critical eye, and by critical, that doesn't mean hypercritical, it doesn't mean scornful, doesn't mean dismissive. It simply means looking at it, and not taking anything for granted, but also seeing what's there. And I've never, as for the more notorious so-called debunkers out there, I've never seen this attitude manifest itself. I think the worst kinds of debunking, though, the worst instances of debunking that I have witnessed are ones in which there is no evidence. It's absolutely threadbare. There's nothing there to the debunking. Just because it appears in some supposedly respectable journal and it says the people who say X are wrong, they're stupid, they're fanatics, they're dumb, they're partisan, they're illiterate, whatever. That's not a debunk. That's not a well. I mean, forget whether or not it's a debunking, because I think debunking is an ignoble task in the first place, as I've already explained. But that's not even an examination. I mean, that's not even a case of critical examination. It's just saying, look at these people, look at what they're saying. That's not true. That's not true. That's just silly. That's just ridiculous. That's paranoid. These people are loony. That's not a debunking. That's not even a proper, if what you want to accomplish is to set out to show that something isn't true, then that's substance free. All that is invective. All that is insisting that something isn't true and insisting that something else is true. And I know it sounds strange to say that these kind of things happen, but they absolutely do happen. I have seen so-called debunkings take. I have seen so-called debunkings that consist of nothing more than saying those who claim X um, are dangerous fanatics. Well, why do they claim X? Where do they get their ideas from? That doesn't matter. We're not even going to look into that. We're not even going to examine what they point to come to conclusion X. That doesn't, it's beneath us to do that. We're just going to say that they are beneath contempt, and somehow just embracing invective and representing it as something substantive. They put that out there, and they somehow will that to be an argument of some kind when it isn't anything of the kind. Okay. So I say, whatever you believe about anything, whether, take whatever idea, notion. I'm not going to say conspiracy theory. That's become a weighted, loaded term in and of itself. Didn't always have that kind of baggage, but now it does, thanks to the efforts of a lot of really disingenuous people, in my perspective, in my point of view. But again, take partisanship out of it, and again, wherever you stand on anything and whatever you're inclined to feel about anything or anyone, if you're going to be somebody who's interested in truth, and who wants for the truth to prevail, and you don't just want to be a hack or a hired hand or a partisan stooge, you should immediately eschew the title debunker or debunking. There's nothing to be proud of in being a debunker. There's nothing grand or glorious or honorable about debunking something, right? There is something honorable about looking at something and determining the truth of it to the best of your ability. All right. And that used to be a thing. That used to be something that journalists did. But not anymore, unfortunately. Not anymore. Just a few thoughts. My name's Andy Nowicki. Please check out my work at altrightnovelist.com. And if you want to check out my latest book, it's entitled The Insurrectionist. You can find information about it at terrorhousepress.com. Thanks for watching.